Why do we suffer at the hands of these politicians? Don't you know politicians work for you?
Hey!
You're the boss. You hire them and you fire them. Look how they campaign. You know what they do? They audition.
Yeah!
When you put them on the job, if they're not doing the job, then you fire them. Because you're in control. From the city to the state to Congress to the president. You run this.
Hello, everybody. This is Jerry Williams again at Talk Labor, and we are doing what we do, talk. And we're going to talk about some things that's very important tonight. Here's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the upcoming election. We're going to talk about, for governor. We're going to talk about the election for Attorney General. We're also going to talk about the Symphony of Change. The ATU lawsuit. Oh, you got to hear this. You got to hear this. We're going to talk about the coalition, the CTA Pensioners Coalition. And we're going to talk about black and white people in the state of Mississippi. Yep, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about guns. And we're going to give you a different perspective on the guns than what you've been hearing on television. Then we're going to give you what we think is something great for our wrap up on the evening. Okay? But here's where we're going with it. Now, let's start off with the upcoming election. Let's start with the governor. And there's only 3 people that are pertinent in this governor's election. And one being J.B. Pritzker, Chris Kennedy, and then this Bliss running for governor. And I want to tell you something. You all got to do your history on this. I did. I'm going to tell you, I really went and looked these people up. I talked with 2, or one and one representative of one. Biss is a no for me. Biss is a guy that went out and wrote up a bill that caused us all kind of trouble with our pension. That was against the teachers, it was against the fire department, everybody. He felt that, pensioners that's out there on pension should pay more and take care of this problems that the corporate caused by not paying their fair share. And it cost us 8-9 years and even more, and we're gonna get into that too a little bit later, but even more time to get our money back. That should never have happened. People like Biss. He also did some things that were an attack on public schools. He was out there for charter schools. That's just a little bit about Biss. Problem I got with him, he's out there saying he's the only progressive. You're not progressive, you're more like a Republican. You're more like a Republican. Problem I got with that, I can't work with that. Now, you guys do your own homework on that. I'm just giving you what I'm thinking. Vote for who you feel you should vote for. Let's go to Kennedy, Chris Kennedy. Good guy. And he means well. I think he means it from his heart. Now, he's made some mistakes too. He's done some things. Everybody in here has made some mistakes too. But I had a private breakfast with Chris Kennedy. And I was impressed with him. I talked with him one-on-one, personally, and he's a pretty good guy. But I'm looking at making sure that we get this guy out of the office that's in there now. I met with J.B. Pritzker, one of his agents. When I say do your due diligence on him or do your history on him, I went into the files to pull up Biss. I saw all these things with him. I went in the files to pull up Kennedy, and I saw all these things with him. Some good, more good than bad. Then I went in the files and pulled up Pritzker. Some good, the bad I haven't seen yet. Real bad I haven't seen yet. But he did some good things while he was out there, and he wasn't even a politician. Problem I got with people that attack other people instead of telling us what you can do and how you can do it and what's best for the state of Illinois is that you don't have a platform. You don't have a platform. You out there telling me about Mike Madigan. Mike Madigan is not running for governor. You know, when people keep talking about, and Mike Madigan, we're talking about what are you going to do as a governor. Now, this guy that's in there as a governor now, Rauner, he decides he wants to attack Pritzker. Now, the problem I have with that is that they try to go out there and say, well, you know, he hate black people because he said something about Emil Jones. He said that Emil Jones was a crass. You know, he has a certain attitude. That's nothing to do with black people. He could have been white and he had said that, you know. And let's face it, Emil was a character. And I don't have a problem with that, you know. But you got people that get caught up in that trying to tell us what we should do. See, you should be mad at him because you're a black guy. Ricky Hendon, who they basically ran from down in Springfield, ran him out of there. He got on the radio the other day and he was all for one of the other candidates and he just jumping all over Pritzker and he's going to insult our black leaders. I don't give a damn if your black leader is wrong. If he feels he's wrong, he got a right to speak up and say that. Thank goodness he does, you know. So you don't let nobody tell you about, well, see, you're black and you should vote. No, we're not a one-issue type people. I give black people credit. We vote for what's best for black people. And that's the only problem I have with voters, black voters. A lot of time you don't get out and vote. Get your ass up, get up off your ass and go out there and vote. And I do like Pritzker a lot because the guy speaks the truth. He speaks the truth because I looked him up. I checked him out. The things he said, he was telling the truth. Do it yourself. Do it yourself. A lot of people running for attorney general. Most of them, see, I can fight Madigan. And I can do, you know what? When you tell me you're going to fight Madigan, you can't get my vote. Because Madigan has been out there for the working class people for damn near 50 years. He's been out there for unions. And you talk, they get on, this guy, one get on there talking, those special interests like unions. If it weren't for union, you wouldn't have been able to go to school. Your daddy couldn't have put you through school. You know, but you're so damn foolish. Now, the only people I consider myself, this is just, I'm giving you my view now. The only people I considered for the Attorney General, one, Kwame Raoul. He seems to be, I checked him out, he's pretty good. And he's Democrat. And I'm looking at Erica Harrell. She's a Republican. Yep. She's a Republican. If I support her, she'd be the second Republican that I voted for in my life. But I'm going to check her out some more. I've checked out some things and I've looked at her background and she's not bad. She's not bad, but I want to check her all the way out. Okay? So what I want you all to do is get out there and you know, you're going to vote. You're going to go vote. Don't be like you did. Don't do like you did last time. You sit up there and let Bruce Rauner get in. 39% of the black people voted, you know, the last time around. That is totally ridiculous. Don't sit back and let somebody take care of things for you. Because you sit back, oh, Mr. Charlie going to take care of me. He going to take care of you all right. You better get your butt up and go vote. Take care of yourself. This is what I try to tell people. Take care of your darn self, okay? So that's what I want to get off my chest right away, because we got some upcoming elections. You all got to understand it now. That's that. That's the state elections. You know what we got coming up in November. That's the national elections. We got to get the House back from these fools, because all they wanted was to get money. They went in there and they wanted to try to destroy the Affordable Care Act. They couldn't do that. But then they turn around and say, oh, give me all your taxes and we're going to give you a little bit, but we're going to raise yours in a couple of years. Never raise ours. That's a conglomerate. And people fell for this stuff. No, let me take that back. America didn't fall for it because they were totally against it. The Republicans, That's what they wanted. And listen, if they came and did that, they wanted to come and get your Social Security too. They wanted to get your Medicare. They wanted to get all of that away from you and give it to themselves. Folks, you got to be aware of that kind of stuff. You got to get out there and vote. You got to tell everybody else to vote, you know. And one of the things you want to do, get them in there so that we can make sure that we get this back. What I mean about back, get them taxes like they're supposed to be. You got rich people that don't pay taxes at all. You be out there busting your butt, working 3 jobs, and paying taxes on every one of them. They don't pay any taxes at all. You know, we got to work with that. I tell you what, we're going to talk about something when I come back that's very, very, I think you'll find very interesting. Okay? So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
What do you wish for? A nice life? Nice things? Or do you wish for something more? A sense of purpose? Do you wish to discover a cure? To write code that cracks an unsolvable question? To further our exploration into space? Or to invent something that changes everything right here on Earth? Well, if that's your wish, make yourself ready. Because when you look back, you'll see that you didn't just make wishes, you realized them.
Okay, we're back, and listen, I wanted to do, you know, some people ask me, Jerry, what are you doing? I work with the Infinite Scholars. I'm the co-chairman there, national co-chairman. I'm very proud of that because we give away so many scholarships. Everybody that know me and know about the Infinite Scholar program know that we give away these scholarships. And I'm talking last year, we gave up to, and this is in the Chicagoland area where I'm at. Like I said, I'm co-chairman nationally, which is all over the country. But here, we gave away close to $17 million in scholarship offers last year because we work with the colleges. We got them. We had about 60 colleges come in, and we worked with them. We had the kids come down. We had over 1,000, maybe 1,500 high school kids come in. We worked with everybody in the city, from the teachers union to the city of Chicago to the teachers all over the Chicago. We work with them. They get the kids down. We try to make sure that scholarships are available for them. And some kids are just great and so happy to get those scholarships. So we do that. Also, we have a company called Symphony of Change. And I got to give T.L. Williams credit for that because the Sun-Times wrote about it, the Tribune and the WGN TV, they all talking about it. Had an affair at Park West that raised funds for the Infinite Scholar of the Symphony of Change, and that's where you go in. You take the grade school kids whose programs have been discontinued at school, and he goes in. C.L. Williams goes in. He buys the instruments. He brings in his own staff and teaches these kids music. And what I've heard him say is that, you know, Beethoven, beautiful music. Kids should be taught Beethoven, but he also says Stevie Wonder's beautiful music. And they should also be taught, you know, in the music from the keys of life and things like that. All music is beautiful, and he talks about it that music is a international language, and kids should understand it. But the big thing about it is that they did a study and a survey, and they found out that kids that are in a music program graduate at a 90-something% rate, as opposed to 70% kids that don't. And kids with music background comes out with higher scores. But the first thing that they cut when they come into schools is your arts program. But what he's doing is outside. He's got people that work with him that help get the do the instruments, and I just think it's such a beautiful thing. And then when you hear these kids, when they start off, they really don't know anything. Then about a month or two, they're actually playing music. He took them down and met with Wynton Marsalis, a great trumpeter, world renowned. Wynton Marsalis. These kids were so excited. But just did a fundraiser at Park West. I want you to take a look at this. This is just a little short clip. It was so fantastic, and so many people came up and wanted to work with and step up and help till it was just magnificent. Take a look at this clip. Okay? Take a look.
We going higher, Chicago. Let's go.
You got it. You got it. Now want it. Now want it. You got it. You got it. I love it. I love it. You got it. Girl, I love it when you do it to him. Girl, I love it when you do it to him. Girl, I love it when you do it to him. You got it. Yes, you do. Now want it. I wouldn't lie, you baby. Got it. I love it. I do. You got it. Girl, I love it when you do it to him. Girl, I love it when you do it to him. Girl, I love it when you do it to him. You got it.
Okay, we're back, and we're going to talk about ATU again. Why do I talk about ATU? That's where I come from. That's where I grew up at. That's where I learned to cut teeth at. ATU, the lawsuit that we filed. We've gotten it down. Now, the Supreme Court had ruled that retirees that retired prior to 2007 are entitled. Basically, what it's saying is you're really entitled to get your money back that CTA took out of your check. What I mean by that is that they said that the Illinois State Constitution does apply to retirees that retired prior to 2007, which means that they should not have taken that money out of your check, okay? And the Supreme Court ruled that, and sent the affidavit down to the circuit court who had ruled against us and told them to change their ruling, okay? Which, and basically have to rule the same way the Supreme Court ruled. Now, they did that. Now, the CTA is still trying to fight that. What they're doing, in my opinion, is trying to drag this out as long as they possibly can. Problem I have now is this thing would have been wrapped up a long time ago. But members, and I think some retirees, turn around and put the guy back in there. They had voted him out, but put him back in there. The guy that actually threw you under the bus in the first place. Now he's in there saying that he's going to, in my opinion, this is my opinion, that he's going to help CTA try to drag this out as long as he can. The reason I say that, because I picked up somebody sent me a copy of one of the posters that he put out. And in the poster, he was just basically saying, well, you guys are going to be years before you get this money. And you ain't going, like it's a very negative post for retirees. He put the post out, and anybody want to see it, I got a copy of it. That's going to be negative. And everything he's saying was negative in regards to the retirees. And one of the things he did, he said in front of a bunch of retirees, and I couldn't believe that he said that. But he was saying that you're not entitled to get your money back. He said that if the CTA have to pay the retirees their money back that they took from them, it's going to hurt my members. What kind of leader is that? What kind of leader is that? The main thing is we need him to get out of the way, stop trying to fight for the CTA, and let the courts, do what they need to do. But he's not going to stop us. But it's just that he's trying to drag it as long as he can. I want him to know, and anybody else that's trying to drag it, we're saying that you got to pay us accrued interest. And you're going to have to pay, and we're fighting for that, and you're going to have to pay. If anybody passes, you're going to have to pay their estate. You're going to have to pay their families whatever money that you owe them. So you can try to hold it as long as you want. We're not going to allow them to do that because we at the coalition, and this is how I segue right on into the coalition, are not going to let that happen. In the lawsuit, in the bill that was passed in 2008, the clause in there that says that a pensioner should be sitting at that pension board representing pensioners. Now, it's so simple and so easy. I say it, and I just have to keep repeating. Go and look in the bill for yourself. It says on the labor side, you'll have three. There'll be one organization that will have three representatives represent the highest number of pension plan participants. That would be the ATU Local 241. Then it says that you will have an organization, a authority representing the second highest. That would be ATU Local 308. Then they said there would be a coalition that would represent the next highest, which is the retirees. That would be a coalition representing retirees. Right now they have the trade unions who vote with CTA 85 to 90% of the time. They're supposed to be union now. They went to the Supreme Court and wrote a brief to the Supreme Court saying that we don't deserve the money. I can show you everything I'm telling you. I show you on paper. We're going to have a meeting at the end of April, and we're going to want everybody to come out. All of your coalition members will be notified. People that want to be coalition members, you need to join up as fast as you can. But we're going to have that meeting, and we're going to make sure. We're going to make sure that you get all the information you need to get. There's a lot to be had. Want to bring you up to date on the lawsuit. I got some great things that you need to see and hear, okay? But when we call that meeting, you be there. You be there. I got a signal that we got to take a commercial. We'll be right back right after this.
Hey, loser.
Leave me alone.
When a child shares hurtful comments online, that's bullying. Visit erasebullying.ca to learn how to help your child stand up to cyberbullying.
Okay, I want to finish that up. We're going to have that coalition meeting, I said, right, I think at the end of April. We're going to deal with the election. We're going to deal with the lawsuit. And we're going to deal with going forward. Just because, if we win, we get the lawsuit, everything is settled, don't think that they're finished with us. They're going to try it again. They're already trying it. In this guy's statement, he's basically telling you that they're trying it, that they're doing it. I'm talking about this Hill guy from 241. They're planning for a sucker, in my opinion. They're planning for a sucker, but that's their thing. We got to stand up for ourselves, okay? Folks, we got to stand up for ourselves. Don't let them tell you, oh, Jerry Williams don't know what he's talking about. Jerry Williams don't need to be out here doing what he's doing. He could do some other things, but I'm not going to let them get away with what they're doing. You're not going to screw our pension up. This guy came out and asked, Keith Hill, came out and asked members, would you consider giving up your defined pension plan for a 401k. That says enough for me. You got to be crazy, man. You got to be, in my opinion, you got to be crazy. Okay? Anyway, so let's get back to some of the things that's, burning issues that I would like to talk about. One being black and white people. We got to stop. I'm going to, the orange guy in the White House has just got people all crazy. He'll do things like during the while we were all talking about gun restrictions and all kind of things like that, he comes out with some more garbage about he's going to do tariffs on trade. This is to get your mind off of the guns. How much have you seen? How much have they been talking about guns since then? This is a game that this clown plays, and somehow, sometime, and in some way, media have to see that this is just a game. He want to get. Nobody's talking about guns anymore because he's playing that little silly game with you. He also does that, not just him, but people like him. Like, we are at a point where black hate white and white hate black and Hispanic and all that. All that's done. That's planned. They want you to fight each other so they can keep control of everything that you do. Keeping control of you and everything that you do means that they can go and put these bills in, like these tax bills. They can do all kinds of things to get money for themselves while we are fighting each other. I went to Mississippi last week, and I was surprised. I said, I'm gonna just check things out. And I laid back and I went into, say, a restaurant, and with white people. And come in the door, hey, how you doing, sir? I'm like, oh, how you doing? Very pleasant. Went into the hotel, same thing. How you doing? Okay. I got a little granddaughter, 7 years old. She plays basketball down in Mississippi. Went to the basketball game. White, black, all sitting there together, enjoying themselves, talking, having, fun, laughing. White kids playing with black kids. And I told my wife, I said, this really is gratifying to me because when I was a teenager, we had to fight. We rioted. We boycotted. We did everything to make this happen where people can sit down and talk to each other. And look, it's beautiful, but they sit down and talk to each other. And then I started to think, why are we at each other's throats? Some here in Mississippi, some in the north, but mainly in the red states. And one thing I found that let me know what I was saying is true. The oligarchs and the people that want to be in power keep us fighting each other, and that way they keep control. When I went into the hotel and I looked at television and I flipped the channels, you can only get Fox News. You go to the bar, they got Fox News on. Restaurant, they had Fox News. So if they're only getting their information from one source, who are they to believe? I feel sorry for them that they don't know any better. And some of them are very decent people, like I said. But if they don't know any better, this is what they got to deal with. We up here get the opportunity to look at different stations, and we can decipher for ourselves what we want to believe and what we don't want to believe. But they don't get that chance. They don't get to know who we are, and we don't get to know who they are. So the more we fight and attack each other, the more these guys can get what they want. Because we're going to look to our guys, and they're going to look to their guys, and they're going to all jack all of us while they're doing what they do. Okay? But I think that, somewhere down the line, we're going to put a stop to this. We're going to put a stop to this. I think coming up in November, this is something that America had to endure, and for us to, really, I think it's a test for America. It's a test for the Constitution. If you notice, some of the presidents stepped back because they know it's a test. We're gonna see the people allegedly are supposed to run this country. Let's see how it happens. If they vote these clowns out in November and put good people in, you're gonna see a big difference. Because this man needs to be in jail. The orange-haired guy, he needs to be in jail. He has taken the president, I've said it before, the office of the president, and rubbed it so deep into the mud, I told you an ant could crawl over it. When Barack Obama was in there, They put the bar so high he had to damn near get an airplane to fly over it, but he did. That's the difference. That's the difference. The stuff he's doing now, just think, if that black president had been doing this kind of stuff, they would have probably hung him, not just impeached him, they probably would have hung him. So that's where we at with that. Let me deal with this one too. Guns. Guns. You see what happened in Florida. You've seen what's been happening in the United States. It is so funny to me. It is so funny. I'm saying it's funny, but it's heartbreaking too, because these kids, and not just the kids, but grown people, like the people in Las Vegas, they just shot up by this crazy man. And but these people are still saying we can't talk about it. We don't want to talk about it. It's too soon. Don't do this. You know you're gonna step on our Second Amendment. And at all the same time, these kids are dead. 17 of them are dead just the other day. And these NRA people, not the people that belong to the club, but I'm talking about the people that's in power. They got such a hold on these Republicans till they telling you better not talk about one thing, anything that's negative about guns, or we'll kick you out, etc., etc. Think back, folks. When Barack Obama got elected president, gun sales went up 400% because they told the black man, they told him the black man's coming in to take all your guns. And these people start running buying guns. I mean, they bought guns everywhere. So in order to keep it going, they love that money. In order to keep it going, they turn around and say, you know what? These other people, Hillary Clinton's trying to take away your Second Amendment and take your guns away. Don't let them take away your Second Amendment. It went from the black guy finna take all your guns to the Second Amendment because they want to continue to make that money off you. Don't care how many people they kill. They don't care how many people they kill. You know, and then they'll give you this thing like, oh, look at the way they murder people in Chicago. And I told people before, in these schools in Chicago, it's horrible what happens when somebody shoot a kid. But they shoot one child. These people shoot mass number of people. And they just let it go. And last but not least, this one woman was saying that, well, you people, this is a Republican person, you people are just happy that this happened because you see white mothers out there crying. That's what you wanted to happen, so you can get some movement on this. White mothers, first of all, you piss me off with that white mothers thing. So you're saying as long as the black mothers out there crying, you don't give a damn. So with white mothers crying, you're going to jump and do something you're afraid of. Nuts. That is nuts. But I tell you what, we're going to straighten all that stuff out because this is America. This is America. When I talk to people, we don't look at bleak stuff and say, oh, this is, woe is me. Nope, we're going to stop it. We're going to put a stop to it. Only person that can put stop to it is us. Love what Mueller is doing, but us. We get up and vote. We determine what's going on. Not just black people. I'm talking to white people, Hispanics, everybody in the United States that care about this country. You're going to get up and you're going to vote. You're going to get out there and take these people where they're supposed to be, out of office. Okay? I'll tell you what we're going to do. We'll take a break, and I want to come right back, and I want to tell you about something that you got to listen to. You got to listen to. I'm going to come right back. Hey, you know what? This is what I want to tell you when I left a minute ago. we talk about how bad things are now, and I'm talking to the millennials, and this, well, you know, this is terrible. I said, and why doesn't it upset you, Jerry? Because I've seen it before. I saw it even worse than this, you know, and this is why we fought. We stood up. I don't want to talk about you guys, but if all you got to show me is that you can walk with your pants up under your ass, that's frightening. We stood up. We lost lives to fight. And I know you got some good millennials out there. I've talked to some of them. All you guys need to join together. Black, white, Jews, Gentiles, everybody. Y'all need to join together and make sure that this country stays stable for you, your kids, your grandkids, and your grandkids' kids. This is your country, so make sure it happens. But years ago, it was so bad that I don't know if you all are familiar with Bill Bojangles, one of the greatest dancers in the world. And they put him together with a little movie star, and she became a big movie star, and that was Shirley Temple, and did a movie. But it was so racist at that time that they wouldn't allow that movie to be shown in the South. Now, he didn't molest the child. The only thing he did was hold her hand while they were dancing. They said, oh, hell no. No black man gonna hold my baby's hand. And then this, if you do that, see the world coming to an end. I want you to take a look at what I'm talking about and what I mean by that. It is so ridiculous. Keep in mind, you're gonna look at this clip and you're gonna see it as a beautiful clip. But these people, like, at that time back then, was like, oh no, we can't do that, don't let it. And they would not allow that movie to be shown in the South. They did not allow it. We moved some from there, but you know, they still got that mentality. I don't blame the people that much. I blame the people at the top. So take a look at this, and we're gonna come back next week, and we're gonna give you some details on what our next meeting is gonna be and what's happening, and we're gonna probably have some of the officers of the coalition there. If you want to join the coalition, here's what you do. Go to our email, talklabor@gmail.com. talklabor@gmail.com. Give us your telephone number, okay, and your address. We'll mail you information, and everything that you give us is confidential. You will be given explanation as to what the coalition is all about. And the coalition is only about saving our pension, okay? Again, talklabor@gmail.com. Shoot that email if you want to join the coalition, okay? Now I want you to watch this clip with Bill Bojangles and Shirley Temple. We'll see you again next week. Talk Labor.
Now you just watch. I went to the market to get some beef. And the beef so tough, and I couldn't get enough. I paid $5 for a great big hog, and the hog so fat, and I couldn't get it back. Get you on quick. Look out now. Here's your last one.
What's going on around here?